came out the exact day I was planning to stream. Also, the exact day I was planning to stream Big Sean's new album, which is quite ironic because much like Jay-Z used to try to do with Nas, Kendrick seems to be stomping all over any of Big Sean's releases. He did it when Big Sean's freestyle video single when he first came out at the beginning of the year. Then he dropped Like That, took all the shine away from him, and he basically owned the next 3-4 months. And then Big Sean just dropped an album, still building the rollout, still doing interviews, still doing press, still trying to build buzz around it. Kendrick drops again. I don't think this is intentional, but it sure is starting to look intentional. And it's sad because honestly, man, like Big Sean, he's had a rough go of it over the past few years of his career. And like to have Kendrick once again pop out. I know that motherfucker's in the room saying, like, this motherfucker here, like he gotta be, because let my man breathe. But yeah, like I said, the main point of this stream, get right back to it, is to react to Big Sean's new album, Better Me Than You. It's been quite a while since Big Sean has been out. I don't know exactly how long it is. Let's see. His last album was Detroit 2 in 2020. So it's been about 4 years, going on 4 years now since we've had a Big Sean project. And this is, I believe it's the first one, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is his first one as a fully independent artist, no longer signed to Kanye West, because nobody is signed to Kanye West and he's having his own troubles. And you know, the whole fallout between him and Kanye has been much discussed, much talked about, much covered. So if you want to kind of learn the history about that, you can find that on YouTube or anywhere else very easily. But like that obviously had a big impact on his career. Kanye is the one who basically put him on, gave him a bunch of hits, shaped him as an artist. They both had like a back and forth chemistry. He wrote a lot for Kanye. Kanye did a lot for him. Like their synergy was magical at one point, and he was a staple of good music. But then Kanye did Kanye, and he basically shit all over Big Sean, which, you know, out of anybody felt the most undeserved, most unnecessary, most fucked up. And that had to have a huge impact on his career and the trajectory of the music that he was planning on creating, or the music that he already had created for a project. Because I refuse to believe that for 4 years he just didn't have anything. I'm sure he's got a lot of lost Kanye cuts or songs or snippets or things that they were working on that would have probably resulted in this product here. But I'm sure he had to step away from all that for obvious reasons. Had to step away from good music. And this is the first time he's basically out there solo flying. And to say the least, it has not been a very smooth rollout. From Kendrick stepping all over his big return, to buzz just not being there, to people talking about the sales, to just everything. Like, it's just, you can see it in all of his interviews, all of his interactions. This has been a rough one. It's unfortunate because he seems like a really good dude, at least on the surface. And musically, you don't really hear too much bad about him. So it's like an artist who just wants to come out there and put out good music, and who has put out a lot of good music in his career, but has never quite gotten the recognition and love and accolades as his peers, as a J. Cole, as a Kendrick, as a Drake. Although at one point, he had smash hits more than a lot of them. And he can rap, but he's never ever gotten the love. He's always been kind of the ugly duckling middle child of kind of that generation of hip hop artists. And it's been a real hard goal for him to kind of break through and break free from that stigma that surrounded him, that only seemed to has grown more and more over the years. Now, I don't think disappearing for as long as he did helped him out any, because I never thought he was the type of artist who could disappear and pop back out whenever he wanted, because he does not elicit the same fervor or almost obsessive fan base as a J. Cole, as a Kendrick, as a Drake. He makes good music, and that's pretty much where it stops. And if you weren't making good music, people stopped checking and stopped caring. And unfortunately, that has seemed to have been the case with this album here, because upon first week release, it's been tough sledding. But I didn't want to, base my opinions and judgments on sales and reception before I got a chance to listen to it myself. I wasn't the most excited for this. It's cool whenever Sean comes back out, but again, I was never the deepest fan of him. I've always thought he makes good music, if not a bit generic, and doesn't really deliver anything musically or lyrically that's like otherworldly to me, or impactful, or like hit you on an emotional, spiritual, almost soulful way as some of the best artists do. I've always felt he's always been like right below that line. Very, 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 very good, but not particularly special. So I've not necessarily been the most excited for this album, but again, I want to give this the proper listen and do, because I do like Sean. I do think he's a good rapper. I do think he makes good music, and I do think he's gotten a rough go of it over the last few years. So let's check it out. Better Me Than You, Big Sean. Skip the intro. Let's go track number 2, Iconic. Let's go. That beat is tough. Oh my God. That beat is crazy. Hold on. I wasn't sure how I was going to open up this album. I wasn't sure if losing Kanye was going to be a big detriment to his sound or his ability to make well-produced music. But that intro? Nasty. I got to figure out who produced this one. Hit Boy, of course, Hit Boy. Honestly, one of the most overlooked, phenomenal producers of his generation, of this current crop of producers. He does not quite get the accolades as like a Michael made it when he first came out and was doing his whole thing and like kind of making the wave for a lot of artists. Hit Boy been putting out some massive shit, some absolutely nasty production. If you really look at his catalog, you'd be surprised how dope he is. And just off the shit that he did for Nas alone, basically giving him a second, third career, does not get enough respect. But of course, Hit Boy produces, because this shit's nasty. Okay. That is the way to open an album, especially one that you've been gone for as long as you were. I wasn't really sure how his production was going to line up, especially leaving Kanye, obviously, and like a lot of the producers and a lot of people that he had worked with in the past. But going to Hit Boy, always a smart move. Always a smart move. The production on that was crazy. Let's keep this going. Track number 3, Typecast. They can't even catch up to the past me. Talk your shit, Sean. Like, no matter how you feel about him, he can talk some shit because he has accomplished a lot in this game, regardless of, some of the punching line stuff he does or the punching back stuff he does. And like I said, him kind of being like the middle child and like overlooked, like regardless of how you feel about him, and some of the maybe cornier things he does and cornier lines, but the joke sometimes, he still put in that work. He got a lot of hits, a lot of success. So he can talk his shit. People forget that. Okay. He giving you a little autobiographical raps right here. He's like giving you kind of the backstory, telling you where he came from, where he's at, both his parents being flight attendants. No wonder his head is always in the clouds, like this slick little line. Like, he nice right now. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting some very kind of earlier Drake vibes with this production, very much in line with something that I could hear Drake rapping on. And also Drake, you know, notoriously has been known to kind of borrow Big Sean's flow, especially early on in his career, around like the Nothing Was the Same type of kind of era. And like, I am definitely getting some heavy Drake production feels and vibes on this song, which isn't a bad thing because it's fire. This is a fire song right now. They want me to play the role, but they can't typecast me. That's a bar. That's a bar. Y'all trying to box me in. Y'all trying to make me play a role. You can't typecast me. Talk your shit, Sean. Talk your shit. He 2 for 2 right now. 2 for 2. Go track number 4, Break the Cycle. Yo, what is it? How is Charlie Wilson just popping up all of a sudden like this absolutely incredible resurgence he's had with this modern kind of crop of artists, especially in hip hop? Like, I've seen him pop up all over the place recently and like in a lot of songs, and I'm not mad at it because Charlie Wilson, obviously great vocalist, great voice, and has done a lot for music and soul and just black music in general, especially with like his band, the Gap Band. And like to see him at 71 getting this resurgence of recognition from, you know, these younger generation of artists in a whole different genre is dope to see. I'm very confused as to how he got so tapped into the culture once again. But I'm not mad at it because every time I hear him on something, it's like, damn, I almost forgot how nice he was. Because that vocal, come and lift me up, like very gospel-y. Fire edition. Bro, I've said this. Big Sean is nice. He can rap. He can rap with some of the best of them out there. He does not get enough credit for that. Yes, he has some corny moments, but every rapper does. But like that whole lyrical run he just went on, he one of them ones. Don't get it twisted. I mean, he's kind of been on this run lately where even in some of his more recent projects, he has kind of been a little bit more personal, a little more introspective, more open about his feelings, and more open about kind of the personal struggles that he's experienced despite him being successful, as most people would consider to be successful and well off. Like, he has openly discussed in his music and his lyrics and some of his interviews, he's like literally struggled with depression and not being happy despite achieving everything that he could have ever dreamed of. And like that continues to be kind of a driving theme for his recent music, and it's clearly something that he struggled with, and it's probably a big part of the reason why he hasn't released at the consistency as he once was. And like, this seems to be kind of the theme that he's probably going to be going for on this album as a whole. Just from the title alone, it feels like something that is much more personal, much more like introspective, and gives you like a much clearer, deeper glimpse into the inner workings of Big Sean as a person, which is not something you always got, especially early on in his career, where it was more about the hits, more about the fun, more about turning it up. But like, this is kind of a shift for him. I'm not mad at it. Is that The Rock? Is that The Rock? That is The Rock. That is Dwayne Johnson, and AKA The Rock. But again, like, can we please get back to rappers bringing in actual R&B singers and artists on their songs to sing their hooks, to sing their vocals, instead of getting this auto-tuned emo bullshit from rappers that we're getting today? It's getting tired. We've done it. Can we go back? Can we get actual singers to come in and do these hooks and vocals and backings? Because there's levels and there's differences in the soulfulness and emotion that a Charlie Wilson can convey is 1,000% more than some no-name rapper with auto-tune. Please bring that shit back. All right, let's go track number 5. Who You Are, Superstar. Production is crazy once again. Like, I was really worried about Big Sean's ability to have, you know, solid, well, not solid, exceptional production like he has always had when he was with Kanye West, but he ain't really missed a step, to be honest with you. He has a great ear. He's always had a great ear, and so far the production has been fire in a very high point of this album. And once again, the production on this is crazy. I've also heard that sample before, and I cannot figure out where, but I'm gonna figure it out. Drums is crazy, and I figured out it is Usher, Superstar. But I believe Wiz Khalifa also sampled it from one of his mixtapes, and it was like one of my favorite songs from that period. Yeah, I'm playing after. So he's talking about superstars, obviously relationships with iconic ladies, celebrities, and he's had quite a few high profile relationships. Like, one thing, again, people think Sean is corny or whatever, but like, one thing you cannot say, he ain't got game, because he's had some absolutely crazy work in his career, and like, you name him, he has been rumored, he has been seen with them, he's been there. Like, he really has tapped into that lane and like touched that game, so he could really be talking about any one of those past relationships. Obviously, he is still with Jhené Aiko, which he's also discussing. I'm sure he's going to be talking about on this album, but like, when it comes to the chicks and like hip hop, and like, he might be top 3 out of that generation. I ain't gonna lie. Basically he's saying like, they see one side of you. I know the real you. I know who you are. All the bullshit, all smoke and mirrors, like, I really know you. It's like a low-key little flex, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, like I said, he sampled Usher. Superstar off of Confessions, obviously all-time classic R&B album from the early 2000s. But let's see this. Let's see if I'm hearing this. One of the most underrated Usher songs, honestly. And honestly, it just made me also think about one of my favorite kind of early mixtape Wiz songs that I was like, he nice, was Superstar. Honestly, one of my favorite songs from Wiz from that period, and like, he was on an absolute tear at that time. It's really like made me a huge fan of his, and listening between the two, I'm not gonna lie, I might like Wiz's flip a little more, but still, Who You Are, Superstar, dope sample, dope pick, dope song. He ain't missed yet. He ain't really missed yet. Let's go track number 6. Yes. I always love kind of like backing gothic, gospel-y vocals and songs. Adds this whole other dimension and eeriness and tension to a song. And he's using it to great effect right now. I don't know what people's talking about. They said he had no bangers on here. This is a banger. This might not be a single or like a top 40 hit, but like B-side, like when you need songs to dig into an album, this is a banger. I hear this go off in the club. Best believe people going crazy to this. Banger. Banger. Banger.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Absolute banger. I don't know what they're talking about. Ain't no bangers out here. Yes is a banger. Let that chorus go off while you out. You turn it up. Track number 7, it is what it is. I mean, look, like I said, I was concerned. I don't know why, but I was concerned production-wise what he was going to do without Kanye kind of like helping guide his sound and his albums, but he seems to be doing just fine. He knew who to enlist to kind of bring that energy and like getting Hit Boy, getting Turbo, getting everybody else who produced a lot on here so far. It's like he still has an ear for great production. So I think he'll be fine. Whoa, nice. I mentioned it multiple times already, but like, I almost forgot myself how nice Big Sean truly is as a rapper and a lyricist. But I've been quickly reminded because his flow, there's a reason why they mention him with those other guys. There is a reason. He nice. Now, I know you got no problems with Drake, so I'm sure this wasn't a Drake little sub or this, but like, I'm bigger than what? And then what Drake said, bigger than this, kind of aping that whole Drake line where he's like bigger than the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sean not trying to get into nothing right now, but could be a sub. Absolutely immaculate vibe from production to flow to lyricism to the back and forth of Gunna. Like, immaculate vibe. And to see him kind of team up with Gunna makes sense because they kind of are two kindred souls and they're both kind of like hip hop orphans right now in the ways that Big Sean is no longer with Good Music or Kanye. He's kind of floating around in the ether, trying to find his way on his own after so many years of being in like this giant label and production and everything. And then obviously Gunna in his situation being on, signed under Young Thug and no longer having that backing and guidance as Thug is facing one of the most shit show trials I've ever seen in my entire life. But once again, Gunna out here kind of floating around, having to figure things out on his own. So it makes sense for these two to kind of have some type of energy and camaraderie because they're both, albeit differently, trying to like maintain their careers on their own, away from what they've had and experienced for the better part of their careers. Makes sense. And these two together made fire. Let's go to track number 8, Apologize. Is Kanye this? Not this. But is he dressing Kanye here? You're supposed to be big bro, but you couldn't play the pick and roll. I even tried to pay your debts. Kanye famously had a lot of debt. You tell me Sean offered to pay for Kanye's debt, even though Kanye allegedly owed him like $6 million. That put the whole Kanye saying the worst thing that's ever happened to me was Big Sean in even crazier context, because like to shit on somebody who's willing to like pay your debt and get you out and like help you at your lowest moments, and then you come back and say some shit like that, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. I mean, he's addressing a lot of shit directly, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly who he was talking about was Kanye West. And if that is the case, like Kanye has always looked like kind of a piece of shit recently and like a absolute dickhead. And like if that is the case and Sean did all that or tried to do all that for him and he still came out and said we said about him, that's all you need to know. And Sean has every right to feel the way he feels. And like if that is the truth, then yeah, it's unfortunate because they seem to have like close relationship. But like as we've noticed with Kanye West over the past few years, anybody who's had a close relationship with them are no longer around. Let's keep this going. Track number 10 on up. I ain't gonna lie, I am liking this more soulful, gospel-y Sean we're getting right here. Like he's really tapping into that kind of side of music and like really incorporating it into his hip hop and production, and like it's really doing a lot from like the backing chorus and gospel-y vocals to the more upbeat, spiritual feeling, positive vibes on this one. Like he's delivering on that front, and like I like this direction that it's going with a lot of his music, and like this is a vibe. This instantly puts you in a good mood, and I think that's the point. Honestly, this might be the strongest he's been conceptually, front to back, focused, laser focused right now. He's tapped in. Absolutely feel good, absolutely positive vibes, like instantly puts you in the mood and like uplifts you, which is the whole point of the song. And like I said, the fact that he's incorporating more soulful, gospel-y, like almost Baptist type choirs into his music, it's doing a lot. And I like this direction, and it's nice to hear him kind of stretch himself creatively and like go in these different routes than he typically would. I mess with this. Go track number 11, Something, featuring Sid. I mean, it's been a while since I've heard from Sid from the internet days, and like honestly, somebody I thought that was going to have a much bigger glow up, but that happened to be Steve Lacy out that group, which is crazy. But I always thought Sid was super dope, and I felt like she didn't quite capitalize on momentum that she had. But it is dope to see her kind of come back and contribute to more mainstream, bigger project, because I have not heard from her in quite a while. I also could just not be tapped into what she's doing, but also like I haven't heard her because she hasn't necessarily broken through at the degree that I thought she would have. But it's dope to hear her back here again, and like overall the song's okay. Kind of typical, generic, emotional, kind of hip hop song. Something that I would expect from a Sean. It's something that I've heard. I feel like I've heard some variation of from Sean in the past, and it's like, it's okay. Nothing crazy. Like I said, it's a fine track, kind of mid-tempo, emotional, not lovey song, but definitely emotional type of song, typical generic hip hop emotional song that I would expect from somebody like Sean. It's not like, didn't blow me away. It was okay. Cool to see Sid back, but nothing special. Let's keep this going. Track number 12, Black Void. Hold up. Big Sean got this in his bag. I did not know Big Sean had this in his bag. This more kind of almost new age, neo soul, much in line with like the internet, or even something like from the Odd Future, which also the internet is from. Ironically, now I say it, but like kind of the internet type of era where it's like this kind of neo soul, funky R&B vibe. Obviously, having Thundercat on here is a giant plus and a giant win because he is so nice on the bass and he delivers those vibes consistently. I didn't know Big Sean had this in his bag. I did not know he could go this direction with his music. Very, very surprising. I did not know Big Sean had this in his bag. I did not know he could tap into this lane. This alternative neo soul R&B indie hip hop lane. I did not know he had this. This might be my favorite song right now. This is a vibe. And his flow is effortless on here. Crazy. Man, if he could have got Tyler Creator on this song, this shit would have took it to another stratosphere because this is absolutely in that lane. And I did not know he could do this. I'm shocked. Very surprised. I had no idea Big Sean could go there. This very alternative neo soul indie vibe. Very much in line with Odd Future, the internet, Tyler the Creator. Did not know he could do that. And sound as good as he does? Crazy. Where has this been? I'm loving this experimental Sean. That honestly might be one of my favorite songs of this album so far. That was fire. Track number 13, This and That. I thought it was over. It got me fucked up. I ain't gonna lie, Sean. I thought it was over for you. My bad. My bad. I thought it was over. I thought it was a wrap. I thought it was a wrap. But you proved me wrong. Like, you reminded me how nice you can actually be. Let's put it that way. And I knew it. This is a Hit Boy song. Like, I can just tell from the drums. Hit Boy's drums are immaculate. And I can just tell immediately when it's Hit Boy drums. Him going to Hit Boy, genius. It seems to be anytime somebody needs a resurgence, these little spark in their career, they seem to be turning to Hit Boy more and more. And I'm here for it. My parents turned to them like kids the way I'm taking care of their shit. It's a tough feeling. It's a tough feeling. The old me and the new me is a mismatch. That's a crazy bar. He's nice. He really might have leveled up. He always been nice, but he really might have leveled up. Speaking about artists whose career needed a jump start and also is a little bit on shaky ground, Bryson Tiller. Seems to be kind of a theme here, is that he is working with artists and who are very talented and who have had success, but are kind of going through a rough patch. Could be very intentional. And another one. Maybe not quite on shaky ground career-wise, musically, but everything else that's going on outside the music with him, it is shaky. Could be snatched away from at any moment. And like, it seems to be kind of a theme on this album. of them coming together and making music. Fire vibes. Not like mind-blowing, blow the industry away, but cool song. And it's dope to hear him like bring out Bryson Tiller and Kodak Black. Cool little song. Keeps going, track number 14 Million Pieces, featuring fellow Good Music outcast Teyana Taylor. Kind of a crazy little bar. When I die, they'll put my bones in museums. See, that's the last nigga left. No, that's one of the realest. Well, run that back. That's one of the last real niggas ever. Because at this rate, will all be extinct. Another sentiment that Kendrick Lamar also had on his newly released song that we just talked about. The real ones is going. And Sean, you might be one of them.
What?
Bruh.
Say that again, Sean. Shallowest always fall in love with the deepest. If that's not a bar, if he ain't speaking facts, I don't know what it is. What is? Shallow hoes always fall in love with the deepest. Bar. Facts. He been like, yo, he's spitting on here. He has mentioned that many times how he finally got a success. He finally got the money and he was unhappier than he's ever been in life. It's a sentiment you hear all the time. And boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Yeah, you're rich. You still don't have to deal with like the same day-to-day problems that everybody else. But yet you still comes with more money, more problems. It's a sentiment he has mentioned many, many times and he eloquently put here. Laid out and bare. Dealing with taxes, managers, accountants, leeches. And it's something that he's been feeling for a long time. And he could not have put it any better than he did here. And the line with his dad talking about how he always wanted to be an actor, but it never happened. And then when he thinks about it or talks about it, it breaks into a million pieces. Failed dreams, man. It'll get anybody. It's also dope to see Larry June kind of get this finally well-deserved recognition on the mainstream from bigger artists because he's been grinding for like a very, very long time. And he has his own fan base and his own success. And he's done it his way. And to see him finally get like this true love and recognition from mainstream is dope. Fire song, probably one of the realest songs I've heard on this project so far. He just spoke facts straight throughout, and like the way he put everything just hit on another level. Could not have put anything he said any better. The emotions, the feel, very relatable, very real. And to get Larry June on there and to kind of get Teyana Taylor back out of retirement, dope. And then to get DJ Premier on the boards, that's like the ultimate sign for any true hip hop lyricist, any serious hip hop head, any serious hip hop artist to get that stamp of approval by getting a premiere beat. It's a career goal for a lot of people, and it's dope to see Sean get it. Keep this going. Get You Back featuring Cash Cobain. Fire. This song is fire. The production is crazy again. I've always said he's got a great ear for production, and he ain't really missed. Cash Cobain and Wonder Girl produced this. Fire. Absolutely fire production, man. Like, I love the R&B. I love the sample of the more slowed down feel, mid-tempo. Production is crazy. Drums crazy. Like, his ear, top 10. Hey, Sean is sliding, bro. Sean is sliding on this track. I've said this many times. Flow is crazy. There's a reason why Drake copy and pasted this early on in his career. Because Sean's flow really is crazy, and he's absolutely sliding all over this track. Sheesh. Run that back. Absolutely slid all over that track. Production crazy, which, not surprised, having Wonder Girl on there is, again, he might have Ye no more, but he absolutely tapped into an all-star lineup of producers, and they delivered. And then he delivered. Flow, delivery, lyrics. He was sliding. Keep this going. Track 16 certified. Crazy. He's going crazy. He's going crazy. He does not get his credit. And I'm going to give him his credit. I'm going to give him his flowers right now. He ain't far off from those other guys. He's nice. And I don't think I've ever heard him flow or slide as well as he is from front to back on this album. He's going crazy. Hold on.
What?
Run that back. Hold up. Oh. Bruh. God damn. I don't think y'all listen to what he's saying here. What's a threat to a triple threat? Got the money, power, and I get respect. I already get the cred. I already bit the bread. They throwing Himalayan. I'm a seasoned vet. Himalayan salt. They throwing salt. They salty motherfuckers. But I'm a seasoned vet. He's spazzing right now. Sheesh. Hell, hold on. Who is this? Nason? Is it Nason or Nissan? Nason? Who is this? Cause he low-key sliding too right now. Oh my god. Shit's a banger. Shit is a banger. This is the son of proof. What?
What?
It's the son of proof from D12. Eminem's homie that got unfortunately killed back in the day. Like, who was nice in his own right. That's his son? He can slide like that? Yeah, that shit might be hereditary because he's nice. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. These two guys absolutely murdering this track. And the fact that this is proof, son, fire. I did not know his son was a rapper, and I did not know he was this nice. This whole song's a dub. Like that. Absolute banger of a track. Banger. Beat was crazy. Flows were crazy. Bars were crazy. Having proof son on there is crazy. Like, damn. He ain't had a lot of like banger tracks on this album. But that is a banger. Sheesh. Certified. All right, let's go track number 18, Boundaries. Definitely a more low-key, mid-tempo track where Sean was venting. Straight up venting. Kind of talking about a little bit of his past and troubles and tribulations and like the bumpy road that it was for him to get back to this point, and like how he's like trying to get back to himself, to kind of get back to the levels that he was used to and the success he used to, getting rid of old habits, getting rid of the old, setting boundaries on people, just shaping up his life in general. And that was just a track for him to kind of vent to. Cool song. Go track number 19, Precision. Like, this was, if you remember way back, I think it was almost like February when he released this. This was maybe March, somewhere around there. But this was the first kind of teaser single to like let people know he's back. And it was a banger. He spazzed. Bars is crazy. Flow's crazy. Beat is crazy. But got stomped on. Got stomped on by one Kendrick Lamar, who almost feels intentional at this point, but it got stomped all over by like that and the Drake and Kendrick beef. But it was a banger. It was a banger that got overlooked and didn't get enough attention. Quite honestly, I've mentioned this many times. 3 6 Mafia's influence needs to be studied because they're one of the most underrated, influential acts to come out of like the 90s and 2000s. You hear the influence everywhere these days. Everybody's sampling their stuff, whether you know it or not. And it's dope to see him get the love and recognition because Pop My Color, which he's sampling, absolute all-time banger. Crazy bar.
What?
Crazy bar. Absolute banger. Banger when it came out, banger to this day. Unfortunately, got stepped on. By who? You know. Kendrick Lamar. Almost like his nemesis. It's almost intentional to this point. Like right when he had a banger, thinking this is it. This is the street single. This is gonna get people excited. I'm coming in crazy. The beat's crazy. Flowing crazy. Bars crazy. This is it. And then here come Kendrick. Hating ass Kendrick. You already know what Kendrick was. You already know what Big Sean was thinking when he saw Kendrick drop.
And it would have been mine if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
Always. Anytime he's come out, ever since they had the little back and forth tiff, Kendrick has stepped on him every time. Intentionally or not. And honestly, he did it again. He did it again. But unfortunate, because it is a banger. And it sampled an all-time classic banger. And if you don't know that sample, I'm gonna have to show y'all. 3-6 Mafia, Pop My Collar, 2005. Back at the height of their day. They were on an absolute tear. I think they just won the Oscar for a song, Hustle and Flow. Then this came out. And they were just on top of the world. Straight banger, man. And the fact that all these years later, they are as relevant as they have ever been. Crazy. Who would have guessed that their influence would have stretched as far as it did? A lot of people used to write them off as gimmicky. Kind of like not a band that's gonna last, not a group that's gonna last, whose music wasn't gonna last, but they're getting the last laugh. Everybody wants to be them. They were well ahead of their time. Let's go to track number 20, My Life. Definitely a nice little, well, I don't know, it's definitely a switch up from kind of the vibe that we'd be getting for the entirety of this track. This is a more upbeat, poppy, wholesome song that presumably would be one aimed for kind of like more mainstream radio crossover appeal. I don't think it's quite as catchy enough to like really catch on crossover wise, mainstream wise, but it does seem to be kind of what it's aiming for. And like, I don't know how I feel about it right now. I mean, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Like, I kind of get it because the whole album has been kind of low to mid tempo. I'm a little bit like, I wouldn't say darker, but definitely more on the dim side in terms of production. And like, I get trying to want to finally break it up and bring a little bit more positivity and energy and upbeat feel to it, and possibly get some like radio kind of mainstream appeal and play, but feels really out of place and feels like something that a label would have asked you to, like, from the industry, like, we need one of these, and then you need to pair up with somebody like Ellie Goulding. And it's like, was it necessary? I would have fine without this track. It's not a bad song. It just feels out of place. It feels a little bit forced and like a reach on an album where was feeling very authentic to his artistic vision. This stands out as like something that was done by committee. Not my favorite. So the last track's a bonus track featuring Alchemist, which he also had a video for, Together Forever. Again, I'm a big soul sample guy. So I love when he's going like this more soulful R&B sample, which he's done multiple times on this album so far. And like, to have Alchemist on the boards, it's always a plus. He's one of the most underrated producers of all time in hip hop. I think he's got so many bangers, and his ear and feel is just immaculate. And like, to get him to do this kind of more soulful R&B to end, not mad at it. I think he knows. For all the dogs coming in after me, like, sure, this is not a Drake shot or a sub, but you gotta know, anytime you hear like For All the Dogs, especially after what Kendrick did, people are gonna assume this might be a Drake shot, just because For All the Dogs, Kendrick has forever tainted that line. The caucasity is crazy. Well, survey says that was a lie. You are from Detroit, right? Only one bigger than you was Big Meech. I can think of one guy. One white guy specifically. Eminem. Infinitely bigger than Honestly, both of them. I mean, Alchemist, what more can you want? Absolutely fire production. I love the soulful sample. I love the vocal sampling. I love the vibe of it. I love the feel. Big Sean went in, got some crazy bars, some nice flow. Just overall, just a very dope song, and it would have been a perfect outro. So I don't really know why this is a bonus and not the original outro, because I could have done without My Life and had this be the outro, and I think it would have been a perfect kind of like ending to a project, to this project specifically. But that is it for Big Sean's Better Me Than You. Quite a long project, a lot of tracks, a lot of things to dissect in there. Just to summarize kind of my feels is that, like, this is a fire album. This is a fire album. This proved to me and reminded me how nice he was lyrically and as a rapper. And like, his flow is crazy. He got some nice bars. He understands cadence. He's got a great ear for production. He enlisted an absolutely phenomenal team of producers. One thing a lot of people worried about, myself included, was how he would sound, because there's no more Kanye. I'm assuming there's no more Mike Dean. There's no good music team behind him to kind of help shape his sound and his direction. And while that was definitely a concern for me, I think he put that to rest right away. He enlisted Hit Boy, Wonder Girl, Turbo, Alchemist, Thundercat, like countless others, and showed that he still has an immaculate ear in terms of production and what sounds good. So I got no gripes there. Now, it is definitely much more low and mid-tempo than probably anything that we've gotten from him in a long time. There weren't like any necessarily reaches outside of My Life, but I like that for this project. This felt like the most cohesive, concise, laser focused he's ever been artistically. He set out to make a complete project from front to back and delivered. Quite frankly, delivered. There were no cringy lines, cringy bars, cringy songs like that MILF song with Nicki Minaj back in the day. Like, there was none of that. It was just him exposing everything. The most personal, introspective, thoughtful, and focused I've ever heard Big Sean. And quite frankly, lyrically, flow-wise, content, probably the best he sounded and been in his career. Now, do I think it's going to move the needle for him in his career? Kind of reshape people's thoughts and opinions about him? No, I don't, unfortunately. I don't think this is going to get the traction and appeal and reach that it probably deserves. I don't think enough people are going to give this a shot. I don't think enough people are going to really sit down with this and listen to what he has to say. I still think people still think of Sean like that kind of ass shaking, clubby, big hit artist. And that's not what he's delivering here. He's delivering Big Sean stripped down to who he is as a person and how he feels, and almost like an autobiographical way, telling you everything he's been through, the ups and downs, trials and tribulations, and just trying to fight back for your career and like deliver something artistically that he would be proud of. And honestly, all flowers. He should be absolutely thrilled by this album, because like, he delivered. Honestly, I think this is the best he's been front to back on an album since probably at least since Dark Sky Paradise. I just don't think it's going to move the needle. I think people have their opinions about him. And I don't think he did enough or really broke free or like broke out with something that's so mind blowing that people are going to look and kind of like reassess their feelings about Big Sean. And the timing couldn't have been worse. His rollout could not have been worse. Starting it right when Like That dropped, like when the whole Kendrick and Drake pulled out, Kendrick and Drake popped off. Having this album, the Kendrick announced the Super Bowl, all the conversation once again going back to Kendrick. It's low-key feeling intentional and a little fucked up. I'm starting to feel a little sad for my guy because at this point, like, let my man live. But between that, between the leak, between the whole Kanye back and forth, it just has not been a good rollout for this album. And unfortunately, I do not think it's going to create enough conversation and buzz and be the topic of conversation to kind of like revive his career, so to say. I don't really know where he goes from here. But if this is like the pinnacle of his career, I'm not mad at it. It's a very, 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 very good album. I just also don't think he can quite reach the depths and levels as some of his other peers. But he does show you, like, on a music level, on a rapping level, flow level, he's neck and neck. Just maybe one rung below. And unfortunately, I just think that's where he's always going to be. But I feel like anybody who really sits down and listens to this is going to see this is a phenomenal album. I just don't think it's going to have enough to break through. And that's unfortunate. But it's a fire album regardless. What do you guys think about this? What's some of your favorite tracks? Are you happy with the direction that he took? Do you think the wait was worth it? Do you think this will move the needle in any way? Is there anything from him that you would have liked to see more of? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that's it for today's stream. We talked about Big Sean, talked about Kendrick Lamar's new surprise single. As always, if there's anything that you guys see, hear, or have opinions about, let us know. Whether you're watching, listen to this, reacting to, just let us know. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, probably talk about the whole Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl situation amongst other things. But until then, man, keep living life fearless. Peace. Also, go check out our new shirts. Go grab some. Out of here.